Hi guys, Jake and MJ, back again for more live reactions to Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. And at long last, we have reached the final live reactions for Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger.
And for some time, the final reaction to Sentai.
For now. We are looking...
For some time.
Yeah, we don't know how long, but at the very least, I think for the next, better part of the next 2 months, while we're handling Beast Morphers, we're going to keep it down to 1 live reaction per week.
Probably at least until you finish grad school.
It might go all the way until summer break. I'm going to see, we will reassess once we get to the season finale of Beast Morphers and go from there.
Right, because when there's no Beast Morphers
mid-season finale.
Because when Beast Morphers goes on hiatus, we might want to watch something.
Yeah, because
we might watch it then.
That tends to be, we usually get 8 episodes and then a break. So we're already 2 episodes in. So we'll reassess in 6 weeks, go from there. But honestly, we need the break.
So we can make some more DRPR?
Yeah, and also just in general.
That too?
It's been a very busy school year.
It's been a long road.
Just
from there,
trying to finish my master's while being a teacher and working on power reviews. It's taking its toll, and something needs to give at least a little bit. And we have been doing these Sentai Live reactions pretty consistently week by week for 3 straight years now.
Yeah, I mean, really the only times we've skipped a week have been
hiatus.
Well,
or not a hiatus, but a preemption.
Not just preemption. Once or twice I was really sick, and one time we were in California.
Yeah, and even then it was still only by a week. We haven't taken more than a week off
ever
from live reactions.
We've never taken more than 1 week
for Sentai in the last 3 years. So we need, I think, to take a little break from Sentai for a little bit. Not that Cure Major looks, not that we're turned off from Cure Major or anything. It looks fine. It looks vaguely interesting.
Pineapple apple pen.
Ryusoulger has dampened some enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It's been having a pretty good run of episodes leading up to this finale, but overall, it has had a lot of rough spots. And that can wear on you after a while, and sometimes you just kind of need a little break.
Frankie's giving Oliver a bath.
No, giving a little groom.
He's holding him with one paw and licking him.
And it's not like we're taking a break from live reactions entirely. So, I do think it's going to be the right call.
Yeah, we're going to totally keep doing Beast Morphers.
Exactly. So I do feel like this is the right call for now.
No plans at all to stop doing Power Rangers. Power Rangers we are powering through on.
Yeah. Unless Cure Major had something going where I'm like, no, I absolutely 100% need to see this as it comes out, I feel like it can wait. The main reason we got into doing the Sentai Live reactions was because Q Ranger just looked too cool not to watch. And Cure Major looks good, but it's not that same, this looks too cool not to watch that Q Ranger was.
I also really, really enjoyed Lupin Ranger.
Lupin Ranger was a lot of fun.
But I'm not having fun with Ryusoulger.
We've had fun moments.
We have fun moments, but it's not consistently fun. And I'd have more fun if I was just watching it, I think, than...
Yeah.
Because we have to get all done up and get out the cameras, get out the lights.
Ryusoulger's probably more entertaining if you're not...
Put on real clothes.
Deeply analyzing it.
I haven't done live reactions in my pajamas in a couple of years now.
Yeah. But, it... Also, just when you deeply analyze a show, it does make it a little harder to enjoy on its own terms.
We first started doing live reactions. If you haven't seen those old live reactions,
yeah,
you weren't with us back then. I used to do them in my.
Well, we did for the first ever live reactions for Dino Charge. We did that first thing in the morning pajamas as just a novelty thing, and then people liked it, and so we just kept doing it for the next 5 years.
Yeah, but it wasn't until at least a couple of years in that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put on clothes.
And not pajamas.
And not pajamas. Because I look like a schlob in my pajamas.
Fair enough.
A total schlob.
So, that's where we're at. And I think it's about time to dive into it. The final episode of Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger, The Will of the Earth.
We're going to find out what the will of the earth is. Because I'm thinking the will of the earth might not be to have everybody live in brain trees. And
optimize.
We are, apparently...
There it goes.
Going straight into the opening theme.
And now we're straight in there.
Like, they're going to play the opening theme.
Oh, yeah, they're just orchestral. Nice. They got all 3 Megazords going hard right now. They got Paki Guru in there. Tadashiki and Bemeru. Yuki no akashi. Sa'a soru o hitotsu ni. Donna toki demo nigenai. Dynamiku daichi o narasai agane no chikara. Gerato hikaru sodo. Chikete bateru rodo. And then with the part we never were ever able to memorize. This is a fun fight. And I love that all the Ryusoulgers are wearing armor right now. It's about time.
Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger.
And Eris is just no-selling all of this. He's just like, I created all of you. No.
No effect. Oh,
Ooh. That didn't go too well. Hey, Ryusoulger.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get the actual.
No, yeah. That was we got the cold open was our intro. It looks like. Who's your friendly guy? Oh, you're taking that attention. Alright. Not doing great, but they're doing okay.
Why do you defy me? Your will is the will of the planet? I don't think so.
I don't know about that. Yeah, they're refusing to surrender. Eris is just like, I don't care. She's just like, you are parasites. Like, have you seen that movie about humans and how they're parasites? I think it was
it is the power that sealed you before.
Yeah. Alright, they're going for it. I suspect this won't go.
No, it's too early in the episode.
Yeah. They're gonna have to destroy her, not just seal her, I imagine. They're doing the move.
Yeah, but they're gonna have a hard time doing this because it looks like...
Oh, they're all going straight into Ryusoul Caliber.
Yeah, they are.
Interesting. Very shiny.
They're gonna have to do this without swords.
Well, technically, that's all the swords just rolled in there. Oh.
No, without swords.
That is quite a giant sword right now. It's a sword. Nice. Stabby. Wow. It's going right through her.
Oh, she clapped him.
Ooh. Did that, Oh. What's happening? He's just going for it. He's demorphing. He's still pushing through.
What is he pushing against? At this point, he's lost all momentum.
I don't know.
He's in the air.
I think he's just going to keep doing this for like another 15 minutes.
Oh no, Ryusoul Caliber shattering.
It's cracking. Oof.
No, I don't think it will, Ko. I'm very sorry.
The ceiling does seem to be working, though. Eris is shrinking down. That's interesting. Oof. That's an oof. That looked very uncomfortable. But Ko's alive. He's not dead, so that's good. So now I think it's time for just... Yeah, Ryusoulger's caliber really did weaken up.
Yeah, they dare strike it.
But
also, you have a really weird orange pipe on the back of your head.
I mean, it did bring Eris down to size.
Wait. Yeah.
Oh, that drained the power of their Ryusouls.
We're gonna have this fight unmorphed, kiddos.
Oof. Ow. Okay, so Ko just got stabified. I mean, I guess turn around and stare at fair play there.
On the back of its head.
It's like stinger thing. Yeah. Oof. He had quite the life force. Oof. I feel bad for Ko, but at the same time, I can't exactly blame Eris, considering Ko did stab her first. Yeah, they're pretty broken. I mean, I don't believe for a moment that he's going to stay dead, but that's hitting them hard. Okay. Oh, Otis.
Asuna gets another reason you suck speech.
Oh no, they're all working together on this one. They're like, oh, we need to teach you a lesson. We're going to make this work.
And as far as Melto's concerned, this is a suicide run.
Yeah.
Ko wait for us?
Yeah.
He totally...
Yeah.
We're all gonna die. We're all gonna go down fighting.
That's fair.
Yes, they'd rather go down fighting than live as part of the...
Ooh, what? Okay. Apparently they get their powers back. Because they determined not to give up.
Oh, flickering embers, so they're probably going for this as a you can morph one last time kind of deal. What do you do with flickering embers?
Our last Ryusoul change.
Yep, see?
Yep.
I'll tell you what you do with flickering embers.
You fight.
You blow on them.
Yep, there you go. Knight of Wisdom. Knight of Vigor. These are pretty little instamorphs. Knight of Haste. Knight of Glory. And Knight of Grandeur.
Ryusoulger.
I do like these glowy instamorphs. Those were nice.
And the most somber roll call you ever saw.
Yeah, it was very stoic.
Well, I mean, Red is dead, so...
Yeah. And Melto's using a sword.
Yes, Melto's dual wielding today.
And they don't have their, like, super random bonus powers of the other Ryusouls.
Nope.
They just have their base powers and their swords.
Ooh, kill in the afterlife.
Interesting. This is pretty.
Or at least in the entranceway to the afterlife.
Yes.
Very... kind of reminds me of the afterlife in Sabriel.
It's sort of a River Styx kind of thing.
Yeah,
oh,
which
Eris.
Sabriel has.
He's one with Eris because
You go far enough down the river, then you go...
She took his life force and now he's seeing her. She doesn't want them to continue harming the planet.
She's not.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, he can still access his speed? I mean, yeah, you guys have been fools plenty of times in the past. That's true. And that does allow for you to learn. You have gotten smarter. Hey, friends. Alright. They're really turning up the somber drama in this one. He's not there, but he's with them in spirit. Oh, yeah, she's still wounded. Oh, Eris hasn't had any friends. Oh, this is nice. Ko's gonna make friends with Eris.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you last episode?
I forget.
They're gonna talk the monster to death.
A little bit. Nice. So what's Eris taken from all this? Passing on their experiences.
Get the bleep out of our galaxy!
Oh, Babylon 5. Oh! Yeah. And does that mean we get Ko back now? Huh. Eris just sort of recognized that them turning against her meant that they'd basically outgrown her. Interesting. So what now?
Everybody's still in those trees, and Ko's...
Oh. He left a Ryusoul inside Eris when he was in there before.
Are we going to use the Shine Raptor teleportation for the afterlife thing again?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
They're swimming in the sky to come and get him?
Apparently.
Or that empty hand he's had might now hold the... Nope, he's reaching for them.
Okay. Let's kind of roll with that.
Alright, I think this is happening metaphorically.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, in Ko's perception that's happening, but in reality
right.
they're standing over his body, yeah.
Right.
Using the Ryusoul to call him back.
Huh. Alright, so he's back. Cool.
He's gonna get everybody out of those trees now?
I think they'll probably naturally start returning now that Eris is gone. I would expect.
This is very end of Evangelion.
A little bit.
Everybody's just gonna start naturally... And the world is actually destroyed, by the way. They leveled a whole city.
They did kind of level that city. It is weird they leveled the city and yet there's still, like, tall grass.
I assume they moved outside of the city afterwards. Hi, Weisel!
Hi, Weisel!
This is the end of Evangelion!
Congratulations! Congratulations! Master Weisel-sama. Something's always struck me as odd. Yeah, how are you able to create Minosaurs? Oh, are they going to actually talk about this? What? Wait, is Kirion just, like, is he like a god from another planet? Is that what Kirion is? Precious? What? 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 Why? Okay. That was random.
We're gonna go someplace else and leave this place to the Ningen and the, Ryusouls.
And the, Kishiryu are all sealed away in their giant CG Lego temple.
And the swords create sort of a little fence there in front.
Yep. Please stay to one side of the chain, please. Alright, so now what?
I'd go check out Mr. Tatsui, but that's just me.
Eris has fallen, no more Minosaurs.
And Oto.
You're gonna have dinner? What are you gonna do?
Find yourself your sister first!
Is he gonna ask, Asuna to marry him? What's about to happen? Okay. Okay, so everybody's heading off to do things. So this is our little epilogue. I don't know where Toa is going, but hopefully he has a good time.
Well, in his dream, he was at the airport, traveling the world.
Oh, is that what he was doing? I'd forgotten that part.
So, probably that's where he's going.
Okay. Hey, Master Black. Okay, so they're gonna kind of live their...
they're gonna try and live their dreams.
Yeah.
Only, you know, with contact with their friends.
Oto's hanging out with Melto and Mr. Tetsui. They're being paleontologists.
That's what he is, that's what he is, that's what he is.
It's fox droppings. Oh, hey, Elder. You were not particularly helpful. He's been opening fitness clubs? What?
I thought you had a kebab bar.
Apparently he lost money on these fitness clubs. Okay. Sure.
So Ko climbed up to find...
So... What are you doing? What just happened? They're teachers together? I don't even know what's happening. They started a school?
Oh, she's probably teaching the Ryusoul kids.
I guess so.
Because there are no real masters anymore.
That's fair. I do wonder where she got the
place
mansion.
That we could all come back to.
That is quite the mansion, though, that
it is.
She just somehow managed to get a hold of.
But I guess she's reuniting the
Ryusoul villagers?
Yeah, and teaching at their school.
That's cool. It's kind of nonsense, but still cool.
Oh, wait.
Alright, so what's Ko actually doing?
Yeah, I was going to say, if it wasn't the master you were coming up here to see, what?
Is this...
Nada's
gravesite thing?
I think it might be.
Okay. He can hang out with Chloe Nada Ghost.
Oh, it's the Tatsui house.
Alright. Okay. Got a bunch of photos. Hey, we got Ui? Hey!
Ui!
She's back from Paris. Hey. There we go. She grew out her hair and nobody could recognize her in her new clothes. Oh, okay, so this is after the fact and... Okay. Well, that's nice. They want to hear all about America. Okay. Alright, he's gonna go... what's going on? Oh, he was trying to escape the stories.
Yes, he is.
Okay. This is... What? And he's gonna slip on that banana peel that he very clearly looked at and then stepped on. Okay. He did that on purpose for some reason.
And now there's a mirror, and then it just found the wall.
To just be the last photo for that empty spot. Okay. Oh, and here we got our hand off. Nice. Very shiny. Shiny time. Sparkle Mage. Alright, so that's the end of Ryusoulger.
Yep. I'm so glad we got Ui back at the end!
That was nice. It was nice to see her again.
Yes, I know she wasn't feeling well, but
yeah.
I'm really glad that we got to see everyone reunited with Ui.
I wonder if that scene was synced in advance. Filmed in advance. It was. It felt like one of those filmed in advance kind of things.
I mean, if she needed to go because she was sick, I could totally see them doing that.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long, and it was adorable.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of like, well, the finale of Babylon 5 was made at the end of Season 4.
Yeah, I know.
So, you know, if you're losing people, why not? Who's a good boy?
Hey, Alifer. Alright, so that is the end of Ryusoulger.
That came out very end of Evangelion.
Yes.
For something that was so goofy. I mean, we even at the end of it, Wisewool started clapping and saying congratulations, which if you've ever seen the last episode of Evangelion. Okay, so most of it was end of Evangelion. It got some, like, you know, everybody becoming orange tang kind of the world is better off if there are no people kind of deal. But then it veered sharp left after after defeating Eris into congratulations!
Congratulations!
Which is episode 26 of the actual series.
I'm wondering if there's any sort of supplemental material that explains how Weisel came back. And then we just decided to have Precious back for no apparent reason. That was weird.
Yeah, because I could swear it was Precious's body that Eris was in when they were destroyed, so...
Yeah, I thought so.
You'd think that would do terrible things to Precious.
But apparently that makes Precious just reappear, like, over...
And still just like, I am still gonna get them all! I'm gonna end this! And they're just all like, nah, you're coming with us on a vacation to the planet of the Kyrians.
And it's
because
like,
apparently
what?
Kyrian isn't a Minosaur. Isn't a
Druidon. And Weisel just didn't feel like asking about that until just now. That whole scene just raised so many questions.
Way more than it answered.
It's just like...
What even just happened here? I don't understand.
Like, that's when, like, when you get right down to it, Ryusoulger has plenty of, like, fun themes that it plays with. You know, there's good performances, and there's good action, and there's some lovely filming, there's some lovely aesthetic and artistic effects going on there. But narratively, it just never really was able to make sense.
No, it really wasn't.
And it decided to just stick with that right at the end. So apparently the whole reason that Melto and was it Melto and Asuna, or who did he get trapped in there with last time?
Yes, Asuna.
And
so that he
Kyrian.
could drop off a Ryusoul.
So he could drop off a random Ryusoul, which I didn't even remember that he did.
Yeah, me neither.
So they could have a thing that could be used to resurrect Ko somehow.
I didn't know how you knew the afterlife was inside of Eris anyway.
I don't know. Well, he didn't seem to know that in advance. They just saw the Ryusoul.
Then why did they leave the Ryusoul in that case?
I don't think it was intentional.
Oh, okay.
I think he dropped one, maybe? But I would have to double check the previous episode to be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel like there was that much. If it was made mention of, it feels like it went by quick.
It's like, ah, darn, I lost one of my Ryusouls in there.
That, or alternatively,
we just saw it fall and
the writers just hadn't thought of it until the following episode.
I really hope not.
A lot of this
that
show,
would be weak even for these
a lot of this show did feel like it was writing sort of by their seat of their pants for a lot of it. And it's, you know, it did feel like these are less experienced writers when it comes to writing Sentai.
I have no idea if is it different? I don't know. Are these different writers?
I believe it was a new main writer.
It was, okay.
Who had worked on a different Japanese drama that I assume is run differently than Sentai because, you know, Sentai is its own beast.
Yeah, I mean, even most Sentai and, like, Kamen Rider are probably one of the only sort of things that are putting out a show every single week.
Yeah.
Continuously
I don't know
every year.
Well,
without breaks.
I don't know what other I don't know how other Japanese live-action shows really work outside the toku genre. Like, I don't watch other shows like that. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like it's a trait of children's television that does that, whereas adult television still seems to have seasons.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Length. Like their animes are often like more British length, even sometimes 13 episodes in a whole season.
I mean, Sentai is one of the longest continually running programs around. Like, it's been running now since 1975.
Right, but it's got a production schedule akin to Barney.
Which
New episode every week.
Which is so insane. Like,
because it takes a lot more to make one of these than an episode of Barney. Which all takes place on a bottle set.
The level of work that goes into producing Sentai on a weekly basis, Like,
the guy may just have been out of his depth with the speed at which he needed to produce story.
Yeah. And, like, I mean, we've just been watching Sentai on a weekly basis for 3 years.
And we're exhausted.
And we're exhausted.
Never mind the people who have to make it.
You know, every week for 40 years. 45. Yeah, it's 1975.
It actually features in one of the manga I have that I was reading, Into the Light, Raising an Autistic Child.
Yes, I remember you mentioning that a while back.
Yeah, the little kid really loves the Sentai.
Yeah.
It's like his fixation.
Yeah.
And he has problems every year.
When they do the changeover and he has to say goodbye. Because he has trouble with change.
Yeah.
So, I felt like that was a pretty solid finale.
It was. It was a solid finale to a shaky series.
Yes. It felt like a relatively fitting finale. The epilogue felt fairly meandering.
I do like that everybody came back together when they heard that Ui was visiting from America.
Like the whole thing with Asuna running the school came a little bit out of left field. And then Kanala still
that was going to be her thing.
Yeah, like
Kanala's still looking for a wife, so that makes sense.
Like she just got a mansion somehow. I don't know where that mansion came from.
I don't know. Maybe she tapped into her dream, which was
eating.
Became a competitive eater.
And won a mansion.
Big prize, which she used to buy a mansion.
That's a big eating competition right there.
You know what? Japan has produced some of the most
it's fair. It is Japan. Yeah.
Some of the most heavily awarded competitive eaters. Did you know that?
I believe that.
Like these, like, the thing of it is that most competitive eaters aren't big people.
Right.
And
they are flexible.
They just have really large stomach capacities.
Yeah. They're very stretchy.
Very stretchy people. And as Asuna has shown us, she definitely has that that hollow leg thing going on where you're like, where are you putting it? So she would probably make a good competitive eater.
It's true. So, I don't know if they're going if this means that Ryusouls are no longer a thing now, because I don't entirely I'm not entirely sure how Ryusouls really work to begin with.
Well, I
outside
think
of
Melto
they mine
implied
Ryusouls.
that if they can find if they can mine up a Ryusoul that corresponds to a different
to a different dinosaur spirit, they could resurrect Kishiryu. That's right, that was it. Because I remember they had that Ryusoul episode that was a clip show.
So basically, I think what we're supposed to understand is that just like the ones that they were holding in their hands, any mineable any mineable Ryusouls associated with the Kishiryu who were involved with this incident will all be inert, the gray ones. But if you find one that corresponds to a Kishiryu who was not involved in that, they might have enough power in them. That
I don't know if it'd be a Kishiryu, but just some form of dinosaur spirit, because it seems that I think those were the only actual Kishiryu, and there were far more Ryusouls than there were Kishiryu. And each one was associated with a different dinosaur.
Kishiryu. He was thinking of it as yet undiscovered.
Oh, right.
That's what would be necessary to resurrect the others.
Maybe.
Not just something, because otherwise they would presumably still have things like the stretched soul or the switch soul, but they'd only be able to use them in civilian mood right now because they can't morph. But we have seen them use these things civilian mode before. Yeah. So presumably those are still around, but they would need one that's associated with it. Because it's not like they haven't discovered Kishiryu across the course of this show. they thought they knew where they all were, and they're like, oh wow, there's a Shine Raptor and a Cosmo Raptor.
Yeah.
Like, so it's entirely possible that there is another Kishiryu out
that they just don't know about. Yeah, that is true. And we'll probably have a movie exclusive one or something coming up.
Maybe the movie exclusive one will be the mission to get our friends the Kishiryu back.
What I will say, what I'm thinking after Beast Morphers, maybe for the next week or so afterwards.
We could do some movies.
Yeah, we still haven't seen the
Loopat movie.
The Lupin Ranger versus... No, we saw the Loopat summer movie, but we haven't seen Lupin Ranger versus Pata Ranger versus Q Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
Which we should see.
And, I'll bet you there was also probably going to be them versus...
There's also a Q Ranger movie a while back that we never saw.
Right, but wouldn't Lupin Ranger also have one against
Ryusoulger as well? Yeah, I don't know if that one's come out yet or not. I would have to double check.
Leo Blanky.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
But yeah, we could totally watch some Sentai movies regarding Sentais that we actually enjoyed a lot more than this one.
Yeah. Well, this marks 3 now that we've done live reactions to. I think overall our assessment remains the same, that is probably the weakest of the 3. And when you factor in Go Busters, which is the other one that we've watched together, I think that still stands.
Go Busters is still the best.
Go Busters is very good.
I love Go Busters.
Q Ranger is also very good.
Q Ranger was great, but I love the Go Busters.
ToQger is quite good. We still need.
I haven't seen all of it yet.
Yeah, we still need to show you the rest of ToQger.
It's fun, little kids train time.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of ToQger, though, is thinking about what it must be like to be a Japanese child at everybody's train corner.
Yeah.
Anticipating if your train is going to be there this week on everybody's train corner.
But yeah,
And then finally seeing your train on everybody's train corner and, like, hitting the roof with joy.
Yeah. So I do need to finish running through ToQger with you at some point.
Yes.
So we could finish that up. And I
wish that our version of the subtitles actually subtitled the cards on everybody's train corner.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
They're like, such and such train, commuter line in such and such prefecture. I understand that's usually what it says. It's like that it'll tell you like the type, whether it's a electric or an old style steam or whatever, and what prefecture and major cities that train services.
I will admit, I would like to at some point go through, and this would be more on my own, check out some of the other Sentai from the last decade that I haven't seen yet. Gokaiger in particular. Everybody loves Gokaiger. I would like to check out Gokaiger at some point.
Which one's that?
That's the one that got butchered into Super Mega Force.
Super Mega Force.
Yes. The
Pirates.
Yes. Like, Mega Force got adapted from Goseiger, which was the Angels.
Right.
And that seems at least somewhat interesting. Interesting. If we could wrap up Shinkanger at some point, and then maybe check out Goseiger and Gokaiger, that'd be good to see how those were in the original form, which were probably better handled.
Yeah. Wait, that makes Beast Morphers the first one we've watched where we've seen the whole Sentai, doesn't it?
Yes, it is. The first one ever.
We thought the Q Ranger adaptation was going to be that.
Yeah, that's what we were expecting, and now we don't even know if we're getting one.
Right, we're getting a Ryusoul adaptation, which will be another one where we've seen the whole thing.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what they end up doing with a Ryusoulger adaptation.
I feel like they might actually do better than this, because the bar's not so high.
I mean, from the little bits that I've seen of Zyuranger, it did feel like Mighty Morphin made it more cohesive, even in small regards. Because
Not that I don't absolutely
I've only seen the
love
first
these
couple
characters.
episodes of Zyuranger.
And I'm still so happy that they were able to either pre-film or get Mana back so that we could have Ui at the end.
Like, there was definitely plenty to enjoy with Ryusoulger. The thing that really hurt it the most was, it was just not well structured narratively. Plot threads didn't connect to one another. The characters didn't really have clear arcs. They were just kind of enjoyable, nice characters, but...
And they would introduce really enticing mysteries and then never explain them.
Yeah. Like, when you compare to some of the other series, like Lupin Ranger vs. Pad Ranger, very character-driven. We knew who those characters were and what they wanted, and we got there. There wasn't a whole lot of overarching plot.
No.
They were just enjoyable characters with clear goals. They were steadily working towards the entire time.
I mean, the police officers are terrible police officers. They don't know how to police, but...
Q-Ranger was bursting with characters that didn't get as much attention as we would have liked.
No, they were a little bit more plot-heavy than character development.
But they were still all distinct characters.
They were all distinct characters. Especially those that were introduced after the first episode.
Yeah.
I really feel like Green and Yellow got short shrift.
Yes, Spada and Hammy got the weakest development. But you made it to the end of the series and you're like, you knew who all these characters were really well and you knew what they wanted and where they would be going moving forward. And they all connected clearly to a very unified theme for the series, which was very impressive considering how many Rangers
How many characters there were, yes.
Go Busters, very strong grasp of its characters, where they did explore what their lives would and could be like after things. That was something they started exploring less than just over halfway through the series.
And they had such deep, beautiful backstory.
Yeah. They had a very strong backstory.
The plot very closely.
Yeah.
Since they were all, deeply affected by this thing that they were now going to confront. It had an almost, I don't want to invoke Stephen King, because it's not Stephen King-esque, but it kind of reminds me of the way the storytelling goes with It, where something that happened
in the
when
past
they were children
shapes their lives heavily.
Quite a bit later on.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody we never saw really the childhood event.
Right.
But it was there and we all knew about it.
We saw it in a bunch of little clips.
Flashbacks. And you kind of put it together. The day that everything went horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And they got jettisoned out of this place. And they were the only ones who didn't get teleported to the awful realm and turned into terrible.
Yeah. And we did get to know a number of things about these characters. One thing that complicated matters was their long lifespan, which meant that there were just huge swaths of their lives that we just didn't really have a good grasp on, or really a good grasp on the timeline of events as a result. Like Bamba being, looking the same 300 years ago that he does now.
Well, I guess that means
with Ko being just over 200, you have a very skewed perception of how time progresses for these people.
It seems to me that they seem to reach peak maturity somewhere around 300.
I guess.
But then the question is, when after that do they start aging again? Because the Masters
are clearly older. And it's like, by how much? How old are the Masters? How old is the Elder? He's got to be over 1,000.
Yeah, well over 1,000.
Because you look
I'm surprised we didn't meet the Elder when we went back in time.
I mean, Ko... that was 65 million years. That's a little much. Ko was...
It was hyperbole.
Ko was over 200.
Yes.
And he looked and behaved like he was, a young 20-year-old.
Yes.
Bombo was over 300, but...
He's looked like a 30-year-old.
He's looked the same for the last 300 years.
And his attitude was more of mid to late 20s than of someone in their
Odo looks like she's 10 and she's over 100, so it's like, it seems sort of like, okay, they lived like 10 times as long as humans, and they mature at 1/10 the rate, and I could roll with that, and then Bamba apparently has looked the same for the last 300 years, so that kind of skews everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do believe that that's, for example, why, Nada did too, by the way.
Yeah, Nada as well.
But I think that's why they, for example, made sure that Toa wasn't present in those flashbacks, because they're still trying...
And even Toa would have to be over 300 as well, despite being treated as younger.
Yes.
He's younger than Bamba, but clearly notably older than Ko.
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, Ko was 200. Toa's over 300.
Was it ever stated?
Well, they were talking about Toa 300 years ago in that flashback, so he must have been, someone who was in existence.
He was in existence. Okay, fine. Yeah, he was in existence, but...
So he would have had to be over 300.
But he was someone that they were discussing with...
He was discussing how he had given Toa the Ryusoul. So Toa, in all likelihood, was basically nearing adulthood at that point.
And see, that's the part where we're different. I feel like the reason that he, for example, kept Toa asleep might have been
that Toa
was more like Oto age at the time.
But even then, that still would place Toa as being at like 400 years old, which is twice the age of Ko.
Fair enough.
Which is weird.
Yes, because the actor is clearly younger than Ko's actor.
Or at least...
Or comparable age.
Yeah, comparable age.
I feel like he's younger, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. It was... So there were...
It could just be the way the characters played with the jaunty, youthful attitude.
I like that Ko had that core thing of wanting to be friends with the other Ryusoul tribe members, and that really drove things for like the first half.
Then he wanted to be friends with Eris, and Eris died.
Yeah. Like, it was what brought in Toa and Bamba and brought in Kanalo was Ko's desire to be friends with everybody. Same thing with Nada. Mm-hmm. And then he used that with Eris. And that fit his character actually quite well.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the best through lines of character throughout the whole show.
Fair enough. Where you going?
And even then, it got...
Bye-bye.
The application of that character trait started to get a little shakier after the beginning.
Oliver left us.
He's off to do Oliver things. He's heading off to bed.
He does seem to be heading to the bedroom, doesn't he?
Yeah. I feel like...
Jellyfish.
Random screensaver stuff from the Chromecast now. I feel like we didn't get to see, outside of their initial integration into the group, I feel like we didn't get to see too much by way of strong character through lines for the rest. I mean, Bamba had his baggage with regards to Master Black, which he just sort of kept to himself until it became relevant to the plot. Like a number of the things going into the end game sort of amounted to, we're getting near the end, and so it's time to reveal these things.
Looks like Oto is still got a major crush on Melto.
Yep. So that's still a thing.
She's following him to go do archaeologies now.
Yep.
Kanala does not appear to have found a wife.
Nope. Instead, he's teaching at Asuna School. I thought for a moment, body language-wise, that maybe he was going to propose to Asuna there at the end.
Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. And
yeah,
even
that's
if he
fair.
tried, it didn't look like she was at all interested in him. Stop that!
I'm still surprised that they never went there with those two. Just because she was the only Ryusoulger. She was the only female Ryusoulger.
Land Ryusoulger.
And Well, she was the only female Ryusoulger.
Oh, right, because we're not Ryusoulger, not Ryusoul tribe member. Because we've apparently established there were people in the Ryusoul tribe underwater this whole time.
One of which was apparently
a lady
Kanalo's ex.
Yeah.
But, like, you have a guy who's constantly asking literally every single woman he meets to marry him. Who are not even the same species as him. And yet not once did he ever ask Asuna, and that's just kind of weird.
And now that she's reintegrated the tribe, he's probably got plenty of other Ryusoul land girls to...
Possibly, I don't know.
But he still hasn't managed to find one to date.
Yeah.
Let alone marry.
And yeah, I know Asuna would probably turn him down right away, but it's weird that she's the only one that he never really asked. I also can't remember if we ever hit on Ui either. Just sort of strange omissions, considering the nature of his character and being so focused on just asking out every girl ever. Except for the ones that are part of the main cast, without it ever actually being addressed. Like, if it was like, no, I respect our friendship, cool, it just would have been a nice thing to be addressed.
Well, in the case of Ui, I think it might have been him just kind of being all like...
Just because she's weird?
She is weird.
She's a little quirky.
She's weird in a way that makes me absolutely love her.
Yeah.
But I could see someone with Kanalo's attitude just being all like...
Yeah,
you are
more,
not queen material.
Something like that. Yeah, I could see that.
I cannot bring this back to the... They would laugh me out of...
Yeah.
But the thing of it, I mean, she wears muumuus and leggings, and...
Yeah.
She is absolutely insane, but that's why I love her. But I don't think Kanalo could appreciate
She
those
was
qualities.
also just heavily underdeveloped. They tried to make it seem like
they may have had better plans for her, and then her being sick caused problems.
I mean, even before that, like...
They just keep seeming to forget her even in the beginning, causing us to be all like, where's Ui?
Perfect example of what happened with her character was they had an episode where...
It was a YouTuber!
Yeah.
And they never consulted her!
Yeah, she wasn't a part of anything in that episode, and it was just like, why? Why would you have this episode and have a YouTuber as one of your main cast? And that's not
include the YouTuber.
And those were all the sort of cognitive, like the narrative disconnects that we kept running into that frustrated us so much with this series.
Absolutely.
And part of that was because we did have an affection for the characters. We wanted to see them properly utilized, and we just kept being frustrated by not seeing these characters who we do have affection for being utilized well. I think when a lot of other people look at Sentai series that they don't like, it does come down to a matter of character.
But we love these characters.
Yeah.
The story just...
People find certain characters annoying, and that turns them off the show.
Say, for example, I have a real problem with those animal people.
Oh, the Ryusoulger? Just visually?
Yeah.
And I can get that. It is visually jarring. Now, no, they don't always use those animal modes. And they do look a little bit better in proper use over time. You do just kind of get accustomed to them, and then you kind of roll with it. Just like the regular rubber suit monsters, etc.
That's my tissue.
Yeah, I think that might be the last tissue in there. Now that said, Ryusoulger does have Masao Mondo, who is amazing. That is just an example of a great character. Yamato is also just an excellent Red Ranger, as you got to meet during the Super Sentai Strongest Battle. But like when people bag on the ninja, their biggest issue with it usually comes down to Takaharu, who was the Red Ranger in the ninja, and a lot of people found him very annoying. I didn't really find him that annoying. He was just sort of that standard hot-blooded goofball, idiot Red Ranger. And I just kind of rolled with it. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's an idiot. Everybody in the show acknowledges that he's an idiot, and he just happens to be...
This has always been expected. This was always going to happen.
Yeah, so I wasn't bothered by the idiocy of his character because it was acknowledged in universe as a character trait. He wasn't somebody who was treated in a way that didn't fit his character. So Takaharu never bothered me.
Yeah, informed, he's so smart, but he acts so dumb. That's different than when the narrative acknowledges the guy is a little bit behind the 8-ball, and he is.
Yeah, exactly. And Ninja, I felt, had sort of that clear progression of, oh, they're all trying to become master ninjas. I see where this is going. It is about family. Everybody has their own specific goals, both within the context of being a great ninja.
Is Ninja Storm?
Ninja Steel.
Ninja Steel, okay.
Yeah, which was not a great pair of seasons.
Not really.
I would say Ninja Steel was weaker than Ninja because it didn't have a clear narrative through line. And Ryusoulger is also very hit or miss on that narrative through line. It did have some, I think, slightly more enjoyable characters and a slightly cleaner aesthetic than Ninja. So surface stuff, I think Ryusoulger is a step up from Ninja in certain regards. But narratively, it kind of falls apart for me. So I think it is probably about time for us to wrap up. I just wanted to make sure that we got in our final thoughts on this series and come on this series and the Sentai series in general. The last one was pretty long
too, so I think we've said our piece at this point.
Yeah, and had a chance to sort of compare it to past Sentai and what it is that we value when it comes to a Sentai series.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Cure Major will be a stronger series, and we'll be able to check it out later down the line. Whether or not through live reactions, but I want to see...
I'll probably watch it eventually, one way or the other.
Yeah, I want to see Sentai step it back up again. Q Ranger, I felt like we came in on a really strong
season. Strongest Battle was amazing. Oh, Q Ranger, yeah.
Yeah, Q Ranger.
No, this also started strong.
Super Sentai Strongest Battle, which technically wasn't part of Ryusoulger.
Yeah, but even the first episode of Ryusoulger was good. I mean, we were rolling in our seats over the...
the Mind Wiper is still the best thing of the entire series. Nothing ever topped the Mind Wiper. That was arguably the show's downfall. You just couldn't top the Mind Wiper. It's the best thing ever.
And it had lots of ooey in it.
That was also fun. So,
yeah.
Hopefully Kiryan and the rest and the Druidon have fun going to that other planet.
Yes.
I must return to my home planet. It needs me. Mm-hmm. And I think now bedtime needs us because it's getting pretty late.
I keep yawning.
And we've been yammering about for a good long while. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed our 3-year straight journey through Sentai.
And we'll reconvene at some other point, probably. But
but in the meantime,
we'll see you at the Power Rangers live reactions on
the live
Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yes, so make sure to still tune in for our Power Rangers live streams. Those aren't going anywhere, and it's great to talk to you guys in the chat.
We love the chat.
So maybe on Saturday you guys could share your thoughts on how Ryusoulger wrapped up.
Yeah.
We can chat to you guys about that during our little chat time.
Yeah.
But until then, farewell, Ranger fans, and let the power protect you. It all comes tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down.